Bob's Breakfast.
Yesterday morning, I got a big shock.
What happened?
Julie woke up. First thing she said to me is, "So, do you still want the sex then?" That's what I heard.
Right.
First thing in the morning.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, yeah? That's not what she said at all.
Oh, okay.
You know, Julie's a New Zealander.
Yeah.
And I'm used to the New Zealand accent, you would think.
Yeah.
That's not what she said.
What did she say?
She said, "Do you still want the 6 then?" She was talking about the new iPhone.
Oh!
Bob's Breakfast with Hatfield Park Farm.
Chris.
You know those gecko lizards that were sent into space as part of an experiment on their...
Oh, yeah, they were mating, weren't they?
The Russians,
yeah.
the Russians wanted to... They sent lizards into space and see if they could do it, yeah.
Mm. Sadly, they've all died.
Oh, they died in space?
Yeah. Well, they said the heating system broke down.
Oh.
You spoke to the space guy, space expert at the time, didn't you?
Our local space expert, yeah.
Can you remember what he said, the benefits of this?
I think it was they wanted to check out the long-term exploration of space and reproduction in space. I think they eventually want to find out if humans can reproduce in space, and they started with lizards.
Lizards.
Well, it looks like lizards can't reproduce in space. If you want them to reproduce, you'd have to leave the heating on.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You've got to keep
so a lot like a lot of humans. Respect. Yeah, heating on, light off.
Traffic's really slow on the M25 anti-clockwise, just for the turn off to the M1. It's going to be slow everywhere today. You need to take more time because the fog is really bad this morning. Thank you for that. So if you haven't left the house, then leave extra time to travel this morning. Take it really steady. Remember to leave extra space in front of the car in front of you. If you spot anything else, give me a call. 01438 422 106.
Thanks a lot, Amy. I do love the fog horn sound effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's atmospheric. I think, if you're driving right now, just kind of says it all, doesn't it?
It's always like a panic when there's fog, because it's like, where are the fog lights?
Yeah, so, could be it'll catch you out, because this time of year, who'd expect fog? So
just
please be careful in the fog.
Careful.
So the foghorn sound effect is being used this morning. You have been actually. I'll tell you about this. You know how sometimes you get people, well, not sometimes, a lot of the times, people who have high-up jobs in radio station groups. Some radio stations are run by massive groups, and the people that get to the top are the biggest crawlers, but they know nothing about radio. We had a regional boss. I worked at a radio station once, and a regional boss was listening one morning, and it was a foggy morning, and I was playing this sound effect when we were doing traffic and travel, and he sent us an email, and it said, "I noticed this morning when I was listening there was some low-frequency feedback during the travel. Can you get the engineers to have a look at this?" Amy, I've got a problem, and it's to do with foreign films. Now, I don't mind a foreign film. A lot of people don't like the subtitles, but I kind of like them.
the subtitles.
Why don't you like them?
Because I want to sit and watch a film. I can't be bothered to read. If I wanted to read, I would.
You see, the thing is, for me, I like films, and I also like reading. So I get to enjoy my favourite two pastimes at the same time.
Doesn't it annoy you, though?
No, well, there is one bit, on Sunday night, we watched a French film. I think it was called All My Children and All My Family or something about mes enfants, and it was it was a froggy film. It was a good film, except when you have a European film, there's never going to be an ending. I always think with European films, they just keep shooting the performance until they run out of film, and then they back it up about 3 minutes and put some credits on, and that's your ending. Because they never really end. They don't have the Hollywood ending.
Right.
The guy doesn't get the girl. It just doesn't happen. But the thing that all foreign movies annoy me with is when they put there's two people talking, and they put the two sets of dialogue on the screen at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They put a dash to let you know that the other person is talking. This is a major problem. When you watch a film, when there's two people having a conversation, when someone says something, there's often a pause before you get the reply from the person responding to what's just been said. And the first person may have said something outrageous or something provocative. And just in that pause, there's a kind of enjoyment in the, wonder what he's going to say to that. You know, there's that, that enjoyment. But when you watch a foreign film and they put the two sets of dialogue, I read faster than I watch the film.
Right.
And I can see what they're going to say before they say it. And it spoils, it's a micro spoiler. I hate that. I'm Graham Mack. Not happy. No, not happy at all, because we're living in troubled times. We're staring down the barrel of the end of an era. Scottish independence. We're only days away from the Great Jock Mutiny of 2014. A day that will live in infamy. A day when Great Britain won't be quite as great. When Scotland secede from the Union, when the Jock Mutiny sets sail into unknown waters in an open boat, we will no longer be the United Kingdom. And what we will become is very scary. Right now, we are the United Kingdom, the UK, the Yuck. We will become the former United Kingdom, the FUK, the FUK.
Bob's Breakfast with Hatfield Park Farm.
Chris Hubbard has your news.
And Richard Keel, the actor who played iconic James Bond baddie Jaws, has died in California at the age of 74. He was this iconic figure in...
Tragic way he died as well. His teeth were picked up by a magnet and he was dropped into a shark tank.
Graham...
It's what he would have wanted.
But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
Hang on. Let me just hang on. I'm gonna stop this song. I'm gonna stop it. Not having that.
What's going on?
Well, the Scots have been winding me up this week. You know, we're so close to the end of the United Kingdom as we know it, and then we have to play that, you know, Scottishness. He says he'll walk 500 miles. But come on. A lot of them don't want anything to do with England. You don't want anything to do with England? After all we've done for you. For 300 years. We've put up with your bagpipes, your spicy eggs, your hairy cattle, your short-ass ponies, your men in skirts, and the crankies. You ungrateful bunch of whiskey-swigging, haggis-munching caber-tossers. From now on, this is it, right? From now on, this radio station is banning anything Scottish, including the Proclaimers. So all Scottish artists off the playlist.
You can't just ban Scottish artists.
I'm doing it now. I'm going to go through the playlist. Anything that's Scottish is coming off. We're going scot-free on Bob FM. Cage is on the phone. Cage, you're listening to us online in the north of England because you were doing some work down here and you discovered us by accident.
Oh, I was just fiddling about with the radio in the car, a late night shift, and happened to switch onto your station, and there was, you know, that little ident thing?
Yes.
That started playing. I can't remember which one was it. I think it was the Don't Let Your Child Try It, or we advise you not to let your child do this.
Yes.
And it made my night. Because I was so bored at work. And that was the one thing that just made me laugh. So we've just been listening to it constantly,
So,
trying to see how many there are.
so where are you now?
Currently, I'm in Manchester. I've literally just finished work and was about to have my breakfast there.
Yeah, and so have you listened on the app yet? There's a great iPhone app, Bob FM.
See, I don't have an iPhone. I don't have a proper smartphone yet.
Well, you can listen if you go to bobfm.co.uk. You can listen on the Listen Live thing.
Aye, that's how I'm listening to it at home.
Oh, okay, cool, right.
So when I'm at home, that's all I stick it on, Bob FM now.
And where do you live then?
I live in Middlesbrough,
You live in Middlesbrough. Whereabouts?
central Middlesbrough, like the town centre bit.
Because you see, Cage, I worked at TFM for about 4 years. And
See, I thought I recognised your voice.
oh, well, there you go. I was going to say, I was there for 4 years. You didn't take any blinking notice. Here I am in the home counties, and now you start listening, but that's okay. You were right.
Yeah, I knew I recognised your voice, but
Right.
I didn't, picture where I'd heard it from.
That's where it was. I used to be on TFM before I left and they went out of business. They've shut down now.
I bet I haven't
Yeah,
listened
that
to
happens
TFM
a lot.
in years.
I leave radio stations and then they go out of business. This is because once you go Mack, you don't go back.
106 Bob FM.
Jenny's on the phone. Morning, Jenny. What can I do for you?
I've been listening, think you do a blinding job about this Scottish thing.
Thank you very
I'm
much,
all
Jenny.
for it, darling.
All right, thank you so much. Hi, it's Graham Mack. Back to the podcast in just a sec. If you're enjoying it, tell your friends, share it, and link it on Facebook and Twitter. And who's on the phone?
Ziggy.
Ziggy. How old are you,
That's
Ziggy?
a cool name.
9.
Right, and are all your friends the spiders from Mars?
No.
No. Do you know why they might want to be called the spiders from Mars?
No.
Does this mean anything to you? Ziggy played guitar,
Yeah, that does pop up.
jamming good with Weird and Gilly, and the spiders from Mars. Do you know anyone called Weird or Gilly? No.
Oh, this one called Gilly.
No. What, you know someone called Gilly,
Yeah.
right? So maybe it
So
should
we've
be
got Ziggy and Gilly.
played guitar, and Amy's friend is called Gilly, but there's no spiders from Mars. Are you left-handed?
No, right.
Oh, because he played it left hand.
I looked it up when I was about 6.
Okay,
'cause
right,
lots
because
of
you're
people
just sick
called
of
you
people
that.
going on about
Yeah.
it. Supposedly it was about Jimi Hendrix who played left hand.
Oh, really?
Ziggy and the Spiders from Mars are the Jimi Hendrix Experience. I heard, I don't know. Ziggy, find out if it's about Jimi Hendrix and call us back.
Okay.
All right, thanks a lot. He's not going to do. Do you hear that?
bless
Yeah?
him.
Okay, I'm not going to. All right, thank you. Amy's suffering from a shocking cold this morning. If you can help her out, we want to know home remedies for colds. What do you got for us, Diane?
Only a hot toddy.
A hot toddy, which is basically another excuse to get drunk. So,
Yeah, but it helps the cold.
how do you make the hot toddy?
Lemon, boiling water, and some whiskey.
And some whiskey. All right, okay. All right, thank you very much. And does it work?
It does, yeah.
Right, you take that, and within 2 weeks, you're up and about, right as rain, like you've never even had one. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. All right.
Don't have variety anxiety. Turn your knob to Bob.
I watched a funny comedy program last night, and it's called Big School. It's
Right.
very funny. It's got loads of celebrities in.
Right.
It's basically for adults,
Okay.
and a version of kids going to school. And the headmistress says, "This isn't a unity. It's a dictatorship."
Yeah, well, it is.
And
That's
I
how
thought,
schools
yeah.
are run. Schools are not run as democracies. Has anyone, as a kid, do you ever get to vote on anything?
No.
They tried it once, actually, at our school, and it failed spectacularly, and they never went back to making a democratic decision ever again.
Really?
What they did was they decided in what we used to call the 5th year, whatever year that's called now, when you're like 15,
Yeah.
they were going to appoint prefects. And so for the first time ever, they said, here's how it's going to work. Each class is going to vote one boy and one girl as a prefect in each form. So that there'll be, I think there were 13 forms in our year, so that there are going to be 26 prefects. So it's 13 boys, 13 girls. So they said each class will have an election to elect who they think the prefect boy and the prefect girl should be from that class, and then the teacher will make the ultimate decision. So they left themselves, out of the ones that give the top 2 boy votes and the top 2 girl votes, then the teacher will decide which boy and which girl from those top 2.
Right.
So they've left themselves a safety net there.
Yeah.
But remember, this is my school. And at my school, the kids and the teachers were not united in any way, shape or form. It was basically a them or us. It was more of, if you've ever seen Porridge, it was that kind of relationship between the kids and the teachers. It was a them and us kind of thing. So any chance to subvert authority at my school, they took it. So the vote came in. I forget who the girls were, but for a laugh, the top 2 voted boys in our class to be prefect were Frederick Ginger, who was a kid who virtually never even showed up. Fred was a habitual truant, would never wear the uniform, was constantly in trouble, whatever. So we voted him. So you can guess where this is going. We also voted someone else, because he'd make a terrible prefect.
Yeah.
We also voted someone else who would make a worse prefect than Frederick Ginger. They voted for me.
Did they?
So now the teacher had a choice between me.
Hate responsibility.
Exactly.
Looking after other people.
So the teacher had a choice between me and Frederick Ginger.
Oh, no.
So I got it.
Did you?
I got to be a prefect.
Congratulations.
Now remember, a few months earlier, I'd almost been expelled for running a book on the school sports day. I got caught for being a bookmaker and running a book on the school sports day. And I was almost expelled. I got my mother up to the school and everything.
But that's a genius idea.
I know, but at our school, it was frowned upon because it was into the them and us thing, right? So, months earlier, that had gone on. And now, at a ceremony in front of the whole school, the headmaster had to shake my hand and issue me with my special prefect tie and jumper. He must have been thinking, what's gone on here? How's this clear criminal, how has he ended up as a prefect? It's because I was only this much better than Fred Ginger. So, yes, schools have to... Well, our school had to be run as a dictatorship. And from then on, we never got to vote on anything else again. And to this day, I don't think the kids at that school have ever been asked for a vote on anything. It just backfired spectacularly that year.
Sounds like a brilliant school.
No, it really wasn't.
No?
It really wasn't. No, it was pretty bad.
See, if we voted at my school, it would just be the most popular person.
Yes.
And I was always unpopular, so I
were
would
you?
never have made it into prefect.
So
No.
if each, So if each class voted for one boy, one girl prefect, you wouldn't have got it either.
No.
Yeah. Well,
I went to an all-girls school, that...
I think I got into more trouble as a prefect than I did before I was a prefect, because, prefect duty, you had these things like you'd have to be on a certain door that people weren't allowed to come in, and you'd have to stop them coming in that door.
Yeah.
That was red rag to a bull for me, because of course I wouldn't wear the special prefect uniform. Our uniform was a blue shirt and a blue and yellow striped tie and a dark blazer, but prefects wore a red jumper and a black tie, so you stood out like a sore thumb. So I never wore it. So they gave you a prefect badge. So I used to wear my black blazer and my normal blue shirt and my normal tie, and I used to have my prefect badge under the lapel.
You're so cool.
Right. So I would stand on this door as if I was just hanging around and I wasn't really doing anything, and a kid would try and come through the door. It's a big glass double door. A kid would try... What was his name? Tasker. Some kid Tasker. He tried to come through the door, and I just locked the door. I thought, isn't it easier? See, I use logic. Isn't it easier if you don't want someone to come in this door? Just lock the door. So I locked it. So I'm stood the other side of this locked glass door, and he goes to push the door, and he can't get in, and he's pushing on the door, and he's looking at me as if to say, open the door, and I'm just smiling at him. And then he's pushing on the door, and he's pushing on the door. And there used to be an advert on the telly for Flora margarine, and the advert worked like this: the wife is in the supermarket and she's doing the shopping, and the husband wants her to buy Flora. So the husband is miming spreading margarine on a piece of bread and mouthing the word Flora to tell her, right?
Yeah.
So of course I'm miming through the glass to this kid, Flora, Flora. Only he thought I was saying something else that also began with F.
Oh,
so he's getting really upset. So he goes all the way round and 10 minutes later, he's running up the corridor to belt me, because that's how you communicated at our school. You know what I mean? But just before he gets to me, I flip the lapel round with my prefect badge under my lapel, showing I'm a prefect. Hitting a prefect is a much bigger crime than just hitting me. Yeah. And he backs off, and he was absolutely fuming.
Wow.
I think he put his fist through the wall, or he hurt himself, because he had to hit something. Mm. Yeah, so it was a recipe for disaster, me being a prefect. they should just have called that one off. You know, the teacher should have been they're allowed to pick one or none, and it would have worked. Anyway.
I want to hear more stories.
What?
I reckon you were a nightmare.
Yes,
but actually,
I was.
funnily enough, your logic makes perfect sense.
Well, why have me on a door? Just lock the door if you don't want people to come through it. What the hell's this all about?
Bone scans have revealed how King Richard III died. Scientists and historians believed he was killed in the thick of battle after losing his helmet and coming under blows from medieval weapons. They've been studying his remains ever since his skeleton was found under a car park in Leicester.
Good news, though, he would have qualified for the disabled bay in that car park. Oh. Too soon? I've worked out I'm never going to be happy.
Why?
Because everyday things that other people just take for granted as part of life really annoy me. Yesterday I was annoyed by the Toby Carvery.
What was wrong with the Toby Carvery?
I don't get the Toby... I just don't get it. I don't understand it at all. What's happened is, Amy and I have meetings about this show where we talk about things we'd like to do. And we've worked out that we can have more productive meetings if we have them outside the office. Mm-hmm. We notice more things, phones don't ring, there are no interruptions, we can concentrate. For some reason it just works better.
And it helps creatively. Like,
sure.
If you're in the same four walls, sometimes you need to get out to be able to get creative.
Yeah. Now, yesterday was one of those days. Mm-hmm. Now, we normally go to a pub up the road there, which is fine. Mm-hmm. But you needed petrol or something, so we had to go to a different one.
Yeah.
So we went there, and I was kind of peckish, and I thought, great, we're going to a pub, I'll have fish and chips. Go in there. You do fish and chips? No. The pub doesn't do fish and chips. Do you know why they don't do fish and chips? Because they have the Toby Carvery. What's the point of the Toby Carvery? It's just big slab of meat and some bloke with a chef's hat on sawing it off.
I thought that the Carvery was just for Sundays. I thought Toby Carvery used to go for a Sunday.
Oh, no. No. It's there to ban the fish and chips and to attract old people. It's a magnet for them. What is it with old people and the Toby Carvery? I'm trying to think, has there ever been a time when you've said to yourself, I'm going to go to the Toby Carvery, when you're not taking your parents out for a treat? Has there ever been a time?
No, there hasn't.
It was just, the place was just full of old people. Why do they like it so much? I think my theory is they like the Toby Carvery because it makes them think they're on a cruise ship.
How do you work that one
out? Well, old people like cruise ships.
Yes.
And you see the brochures, and there's always a bloke slicing off meat and a thing, and I don't know. The weird thing is, though, when you're surrounded by old people, you would think that would make you feel younger.
Yeah.
It makes me feel old.
Why?
I'm just surrounded by old. I don't like it. Anyway,
But you're not as old as them.
I'm nowhere near as old as them, and never will be. Maybe it's the Toby Carvery that makes them old. I don't know. Maybe it's reverse psychology. I just don't like it. And then the waitress came over, And maybe she should have just rephrased her question. Maybe it would have been more accurate if she'd said to me, "Is anything okay?" Controversial topic, not even sure I should go there. Girls going to football matches. Now, I mention this because ITV last night, it was Liverpool versus what sounded like vinaigrettes, but I think they're Ludogorets, was in the Bulgarian side. And they showed the shot of the travelling Bulgarian supporters, and there's a row of like 4 blokes and 1 girl. And the 4 blokes are all cheering and shouting and pointing, and the girl is on her phone texting.
Good.
What?
Yeah. Well, clearly she doesn't want to be there. So the boyfriend's dragged her along.
She's travelled all the way from Bulgaria.
Yeah, she probably got a holiday out of it. So he probably said, let's go on holiday, and we'll have a really nice time. Poor girl. I bet she's been promised the world, and then he's dragged her to a football match. She's probably texting her friend going, oh, can't believe him.
She might have been texting her friend, you know, that was never offside or something. You never know what she was actually texting. She might be right into it.
Yeah, she could be. Some girls do like football. If they're manipulated by their other half made to feel guilty, and they want to get involved in something that the other half's doing. You know, I know the offside rule.
You know the offside rule?
It's the one thing I know about football.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. So this whole thing that girls don't understand the offside rule.
Rubbish.
So you don't really understand football, but you understand the offside rule.
I understand football.
Yes.
As in football is...
but you're not a fan. You don't have a team.
I'm not a fan. No.
Right.
Definitely not.
But
I have the best way of...
How do you know the offside rule?
I have the best way of explaining the offside rule. A girl version of the offside rule. Because, you know, notoriously women don't get it. They don't understand. You start talking in guys' terms, doesn't make any sense. We need to realise that we're 2 separate species. We need our own way of understanding stuff.
Okay.
So do you want my version of the offside
Yes, please. How do we understand it?
So, you're in a shoe shop, yeah? Second in the queue for the till. Behind the shop assistant on the till is a pair of shoes, which you've seen and which you must have. The female shopper in front of you has seen them also and is eyeing them up, but both of you have forgotten your purses. Are you still with me?
Yes. So, are you at the counter or are you one behind the counter?
One behind.
Right.
It would be rude to push in front of the woman in front if you had no money to pay for the shoes. You can't just push in, can you?
But in this case, it says that neither of you have got the money.
No.
Right.
The shop assistant remains at the till waiting.
Right.
Your friend is trying on another pair of shoes at the back of the shop and sees your dilemma. So she prepares to throw her purse to you.
Right.
If she does, you can catch the purse, then walk around the other shopper and buy the shoes.
Yes.
At a pinch, she could throw the purse ahead of the other shopper, and whilst it's in flight, you can nip around the other shopper, catch the purse and buy the shoes. But you must always remember that until the purse has actually been thrown, it would be plain wrong for you to be in front of the other shopper, and you would be offside.
Right.
That's the offside rule.
That's how you explain it.
Yeah. Women, shoe shops, purses, it all makes perfect sense. As soon as I heard that, it's like a light bulb went off and went, oh, that's what they do.
Apart from the act of catching the purse.
Why?
Handball. Thanks for listening to this podcast. If you liked it, you'll love the archive of Mack Nuggets at macmedia.co.uk. There's all kinds of audio on there from more than 20 years of stuff that I've broadcast on radio stations in the UK, Australia and the United States. Just click on the Mack Nuggets section at macmedia.co.uk. Chris Hubbard has your news.
All male members of the Royal and Ancient Golf Club are going to be voting whether to admit women members for the first time in their 260-year history.
What year is this?
2000.
Is this St Andrews, is it?
St Andrews, yes.
So this is St Andrews. This is the home of golf. This is where it all started, isn't it? This is it.
Yeah.
And right now, women are not allowed to be members. How can they possibly even need a vote on that? It clearly is against the law under the sex discrimination laws that we've had in this country for a long time. It is clearly illegal to say that women can't be members based on their gender. A vote? Just what a load of nonsense.
Well, they're saying if, as expected, the St Andrews members vote yes, the club will approach 15 women who've made a significant contribution to golf to become the first members.
And those women... I want to go and play golf? Why can't I go there?
At the moment, because you're a woman, you can't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I could, even though I can't play golf. So, like, the best woman golfer is not allowed to join. The best woman golfer, but someone who is not as good a golfer, who is a man, can join.
Let's send my granny up there. She was the captain of a golf club.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But I don't know why women have put up with this for so long. Golf is really in the dark ages on this, and a lot of golf clubs still, even though they will allow women members, will not allow women to play on a Saturday morning. Still.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's interesting, because one of my friend's wives isn't allowed to play golf with him. This is up in Lincolnshire. She's allowed to sit in the clubhouse and have a cup of coffee on a Saturday morning.
Why would any man be a member of a club that excludes his wife from the game they want to enjoy together? That's the bit that doesn't make sense to me.
It is puzzling, isn't it? And this is, like we said, this has been going on hundreds of years.
Well, you can understand hundreds of years ago when we had things like slavery and that, and we didn't have equality. You can understand, you know, but we're in a more enlightened age now.
There are lots of golf clubs that have a women's team and a women's section, and then you can have mixed games as well, where you can both play together. So it's just this old one seems to be way behind the times.
It's way more.
Yeah.
It's way.
But they're idiots because they'll make more money if they're 50% of the population are women. So that means 50% of their revenue could come from women if they just let women in there.
Yeah.
Plus, the whole place will be much tidier.
Bob's Breakfast with Hatfield Park Farm.
Jackie, what's your story?
My husband, for my 21st birthday, bought me a pair of shoes from a Spanish market.
A pair of shoes? What's so bad about a pair of shoes?
Graham, really? My 21st from Spanish market? They're not even nice leather.
It would have cost him like 10...
21st! All those years ago, it probably would have cost him about €2.
Right, but obviously the present you really wanted was a better phone.
Yes! And not to live in a country where you have no signal!
Yes!
Britney Spears has sent Kate Middleton her underwear, and that's because she's launching a new lingerie line, and
This
she
doesn't
really
make any sense to me.
Why?
Britney Spears is famous for not wearing underwear. And now she's brought out a range of underwear.
Uh-huh.
Have you got Google there?
Yeah.
Go to Google it, just put Flock of Seagulls haircut. And just have a look at Mike Score, the lead singer with Flock of Seagulls, the haircut he had in the early 80s. It was blonde, and it was like long at the front, and it came down, and then the two sides stuck up in the air. That was his haircut. Remember, this was at a time when haircuts had suddenly got shorter, because in the 70s hair got quite long, but in the early 80s, because of the mod phase 2 and punk and everything, haircuts got quite short, so he went this wacky-do haircut.
As the daughter of a very, very good hairstylist, I'd be suing. That hairstyle is shocking. It's not even a proper hairstyle. What it's like is like the hairdresser just forgot to style the bit at the front and cut the bit of the front off.
It looks like, you know, sometimes when you've got shampoo in your hair and you start making shapes and stuff with your hair, it looks like that, only it's dry.
You know, that kind of style came back into fashion, but...
That style never came into fashion.
No, a more modern version, a more styled version, a bit like the... okay, what era is the film Grease?
Well, it's set in the 50s.
Okay, so the 50s kind of like mohawk, a bit at the front.
Yeah.
Is that what you called it?
Yeah. At the back is the DA, and at the front was, I forget what it was, and it was piled high.
Yeah, really high, really long at the front.
But greasy. In Greece, it was Greece. That's the whole deal.
Yeah, it's not Grease now. It's all about being
dry.
light and fluffy and very natural looking, but just holds there.
Yeah.
It looks like that's what the Flock of the Seagulls guy tried to do, but it just flattened straight on his face and went horribly wrong.
Yeah. The amount of lacquer in there that must to get that
to hold it. And his roots are shocking.
And his roots are shocking. Because I don't
3 inches long.
I don't
black
think
hair followed by bleached.
I don't think he was a natural blonde.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Half of his ginger.
Because as a bloke, you know, you get used to spotting non-natural blondes.
Really?
As a single oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Oh, you can tell.
You can't even tell if someone's had a haircut. How can you tell if they're non-natural?
No, you see, a girl who is the non-natural blonde, it's obvious because you can see that, you know, not everything's blonde.
Oh, no.
What?
Is that true?
Oh, yeah, no, they have dark eyebrows.
Bob along.
Chris Hubbard has your news.
Remember we talked just yesterday about David Cameron saying that the Queen purred over the Scottish independence referendum?
Yes.
And we couldn't quite put a finger on why this was such big news.
Yeah.
I think it is over the word purr.
Oh.
There's been a lot of discomfort in the use of the word purr. There's a couple of articles in the papers yesterday about why people are so uncomfortable about
It's a bit creepy, isn't it?
I think that's what it is. David Cameron now going to apologise to the Queen after he was overheard saying that she purred.
He's
on
boring
hearing the
me,
result.
Cameron. He's got nothing interesting to say, so that's why he's going on about this.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a distraction of some kind, considering he's about to announce that we're going to send troops into Syria. I don't
Do you
know.
think?
I don't know. It just seems it's getting a lot of mileage for. It wasn't even. He didn't even say it publicly. It was over here. His conversation was bugged basically by the media. I mean, the sound on it is so bad when you see it on TV. They have to put subtitles up so you can hear what he's saying because it's so off mic. He didn't say it publicly.
He's now saying he's embarrassed and extremely sorry for the remarks as well, and he's going to apologise in person when he next meets the Queen.
Over a cup of tea. I'm sorry to say you purred, Mom.
I don't know. So you mean if I met the Queen and she said something and I mentioned it, then I can get into trouble? Is that how that works?
I guess it depends what the Queen said to you.
I think it's a bit different because he's the Prime Minister.
Oh, that's all right then. So if I say the Queen purred when I was washing her back the other day.
Oh, no.
I mean, am I now in trouble? I don't know.
Bob's Breakfast with Hatfield Park Farm.
Thanks for downloading this podcast. You know, every time we publish a new one, you can get it downloaded for free automatically when you subscribe through iTunes. Just search for Graham Mack's podcast. Very disturbing pictures, Amy should show me. Was that a third?
Really weird.
A third girl who's been. She's had plastic surgery to look like a Barbie doll, or is that another one?
These are all the same girl, but there is another one that's pictured with her that has red hair, so she's spent money, so they must come as a couple. And then I did see a picture of a guy that was trying to make himself look like Ken. These girls really do look freaky. So in a way, the amount of money that they spent has worked, because it's done what they wanted. There's the guy that looks like Ken.
Oh, no.
He looks really fake.
And are they a couple, Barbie and Ken? Because I would think a girl that made herself look like a doll, like a life-size doll, and the only bloke she's going to get probably got a life-size doll of his own at home.
There's temporary traffic lights on the A513. I'm so sorry, on Elstree Hill Road South. I'm laughing because Graham's running. You're jigging around the place. Do you need...
I need to look. I'm waiting for the 8 o'clock news, because the 8 o'clock news is the longest news we do, and I've been hanging out till the 8 o'clock. Can you hurry up and do the travel, because I need to go?
If you spot anything else, give me a call. 01438 422 106.
On FM, DAB digital radio, online and on your smartphone. This is Bob FM.
This just in from David Cameron. He says the Queen meowed with distress when she heard that Jason Orange is leaving Take That.
106 Bob FM.
I still can't believe what you said about the Russian cosmonaut.
What have I...
Well, Chris brought us a story earlier of the latest female cosmonaut. She's going to blast off and spend some time on the International Space Station, and we still haven't seen what she looks like. But you were inferring that she was...
There were lots of facts that went around this. The facts were that she wasn't happy that the press were talking about her hair, and the fact that she's going to be away from her kids, and they should be focusing more on the fact that she's an astronaut.
Right.
And that automatically made me think, well, I wonder what she looks like. Why would she not be interested in her hair and looking after the kids? And what do I think of when I think of a Russian woman astronaut that's not going to look after her hair or her kids?
And what do you think?
A Russian shot putter.
You can't say that.
Why?
Because she might be completely the opposite. It's a stereotype.
Yeah, she could be. She could be completely.
It's racial profiling, I think. It's some kind of profiling.
It's just my opinion. It's just my thoughts in my head. I'm not saying she is.
I know. Oh, I know. Well, we haven't seen her. We don't know.
No.
She might be. I don't know.
I don't know. But I just don't imagine the little blonde model type skinny Russian that you imagine.
Right, okay. Well, let's laugh nervously and move on. You can contact us on the phone, 01438422106. Also, you can text us, which is 810. Start your message with Bob. We've been doing all right with text this morning?
No, I've had a really nasty one.
Oh, have you now? What's it say?
I don't know. He says... It's really mean, and it's quite upset me. It said, is Amy really that thick, or is she just putting it on?
What's he on about? Is he on about you going on about the Flock of Seagulls haircut? What's he...
because you did the whole eyebrow thing.
What's he saying?
Nothing. That's all it says is that why is she really that thick? But I can't think. Yeah, I can't think what I've said that would make me out to be thick.
Well,
and if I am thick, then I can't do anything about it because it's just what's in my head. So there's like.
Is his number there?
Yeah.
Let me give him a call. Let me do.
I don't want to speak to him.
Good, because I'll do all the talking.
Because it's really mean.
Let me handle this.
Okay.
I got this. Okay, let me call him up. I take it it's a bloke. You'd never know.
Hello.
Hello, Graham Mack calling from Bob FM. Who's that?
Jerry.
Jerry, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You?
Very good, mate.
I take it you got my message.
Yes, I did.
The answer is...
Yes. Well, what in particular do you think... Which area of expertise has Amy let herself down in this morning?
Well, I think that little section you did there about the Russian cosmonaut sort of just pricked my ears up and I started listening, really, and then it just sort of rolled on from there, really.
What in particular about the Russian cosmonaut did she get wrong?
But the Russian weightlifter part, and just the whole sexist remark against Russian women, or I don't know. Just somewhere around there.
Jerry, you need to know something. I'm the one that gets all the texts. So when I had a text that came through saying, is Amy really that thick, or is she just putting it on?
Well, I thought that was a fair question.
I thought that's a little bit harsh.
I thought that was quite a fair question, Amy.
Okay, Jerry, why am I thick?
Well, the whole sexist remark thing's about the Russian cosmonaut. Wow, I was astounded. My jaw actually hit the steering wheel at that point. You know, I was like, is she for
come
real?
on, Jerry.
And I was waiting for it to be a wind-up and somebody to go, and it didn't happen. And I was like, okay.
Bob's Breakfast.
Oh, Mike's on the phone.
Graham, fantastic show, man.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah, speak to you later, man. Bye.
Cheers, ta-ra, bye.
Bob's Breakfast with Hatfield Park Farm.
Talk to Rachel about boobs.
What?
Yeah.
About boobs?
Yeah, Rachel, how many people do you reckon look at your boobs every day?
Oh, a million.
What?
Everybody looks at my boobs. I have great boobs.
Do you have them on display? Is the cleavage... Are you showing off Sleepy Hollow?
I don't show off Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow shows off itself.
Oh, dear. Okay, because, you know, the Nestle have put a camera, a little button in Sleepy Hollow, put it on a lady. 36 times they were looked at in one day.
36.
Well, so you would quite happily hitch them up, put them on display, walk around with a cleavage, and what do you think about people, particularly men, looking?
Well, if I'm going to put them on display, men are going to look.
Right, so you're not bothered?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much, Rachel.
That's okay.
Cheers,
Thanks,
thank you.
lovely. See you.
Cheers,
okay.
bye. So she's not bothered. So the advice to men is if someone's...
But that's the point. If you're going to get them out,
yes,
then you want people... It's just that she's honest enough to admit it. If you're going to get them out, then you want people to look.
Right.
So if you don't want people to look, keep them covered.
Right. So today, if a bloke is out and about and there's a cleavage on display, he has every right to look at them because that's what the cleavage displayer wants.
Well, if she's got them out, then why else would you get them out?
Okay, all right, well, let's just see. This is a message to the men of the home counties. If you see a cleavage today, just gaze at it, and then let us know. Let us know.
You can't gaze at it.
Why not?
Because you're going to have all these creepy men going around going, ugh.
Well, if that's what they say and that's what they want, then that's what you should do. And if they get what they want, well, let's just see the reaction, and then give us a call tomorrow morning and tell us how you got on. 01438 422 106. Boob FM. You seem fascinated, Amy. You're looking at there.
Oh, Chris's video that he's just posted of how to wash your hair in space.
Yeah, because we've been talking about the new female cosmonaut, and she's been getting a hard time from you.
Well, I wouldn't say she's had a hard time. I say when I imagined what she looked like, I thought she looked like a Russian shot putter.
But she actually is quite a glamour.
She is a glamour, however. Yes, she is. But when you look and compare her to some of the other American models, astronauts, cosmonaut. What's the difference between a cosmonaut and an astronaut?
Well, one flies in the cosmos, and the other one flies in the... No, don't ask that.
Okay. So... when I look at some of the American ones, you know, like you've been saying for ages, you've been saying it's showbiz, it's entertainment.
NASA needs to realise that if they want us to get behind the space project, that they've got to realise they're not in the business of science, they're in show business.
Exactly.
And when they were driving cars on the moon and playing golf on the moon, they were putting on a pretty good show. They've been putting on a rubbish show lately, and people are getting bored with the whole thing.
No, so some of the American ones, you know, they have their makeup on, they've got their eyebrows done, they have their eyeshadow on, and they look good, ready for camera.
This new Russian one, she's got all that going
She's got
on.
no makeup.
Well, are you certain? I thought
Nothing.
the picture of the press conference, I thought there was something going on there.
There's nothing.
Oh, okay. All
Nothing.
Right. Okay.
She looks like a nice enough lady, and I do have to go back a little bit and say she's not exactly the picture that I imagined when Chris first said that there was a Russian cosmonaut.
So, because she hasn't got a moustache.
But the video is fascinating, washing your hair in space. I don't know why they don't just use dry shampoo.
Well, maybe you could suggest that to them.
Yeah.
Dear NASA.
So they should phone me first
Yeah,
before they
come on.
start planning all these things.
Come on, NASA. It's not rocket science.
Bob's Breakfast.
We've been talking this morning about this interesting experiment that's been going on. A tiny little camera was placed just below a lady's cleavage, just to see how many times people had a sneaky peek. Now, it wasn't just men. It was women, it was kids, it was dogs, people looking but trying not to get caught looking. It was 36 times in a single day. So on the phone we have Amy. You say this guy is an expert on this subject.
Yeah.
This is your friend Dave, and the subject is boobs, Dave.
Boobs, yeah.
I'm sure Nikki will love this because hers are huge now that she's having a baby.
Oh my goodness, there was no need for that.
Yeah, lovely, but you're not allowed to touch.
Okay, so if a woman has her boobs out, are you expected to look at them, or do you have to avoid?
I don't think you have a choice. Obviously, you do your best not to look. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you go.
But why should you not look if they put them out on display?
Exactly. If you was going down the road and there's a really nice car, you can't help but
That's
worry,
right.
can you?
If somebody has a convertible and they pull the top down, you expect it to look at what's there, look at the upholstery, you know, you expect that. So if somebody has pulled their top down a little, you know, you're going to look at what's inside, aren't you? What's the big deal?
Indeed.
Except
Indeed.
Nikki will shoot you if she finds you looking.
Bob's Breakfast.